Yo. Welcome back to another video. I'm ready to get right into this. I got this stocking cap on my head. I look like one of them guys on the inside. This is what they be wearing. Nah, man. I met my good grandma's house. That's all she had. Anyways, let's get right into it. Let's go.
1, 2, is this on?
There's plenty of wrestling moves that hurt or cause problems.
I will say that the last ride is the worst bump that I've ever taken in my life.
To the point where some talent despise taking them.
What's your least favorite move to be on the receiving end of?
Jeff Hardy's Swanton.
It was the crouton bomb. For the longest time, I was like killing people. I just could not control it anymore.
You would know Jeff is putting all his body weight on you. It does hurt.
They might be safe, but they're still painful.
It's so stiff. You're falling backwards onto your head, so there's not much you can do to break the momentum.
For this video, we'll be highlighting these maneuvers, plus some that went wrong because of how they were taken and how much damage they caused.
Cena would get very into the moment, I think. It wasn't that he was trying to stiff people. I just think he'd be so into it.
He actually choked me out. And you can watch me pass out.
Today, we list 10 moves wrestlers hate taking.
How many of the guys you work with just could not stand to be chopped?
Bret Hart and Taker were the doors. But Taker would tell me, you got 3.
Claudio Castagnoli, aka Cesaro, noted how wrestlers despise taking his giant swing maneuver, due to how dizzy it makes them. This was revealed during interviews with Chris Van Vliet and Denise Salcedo.
I've heard from many people that it's their least favorite move to take, and they absolutely hate it to the point where they almost refuse to take it because it makes them dizzy and they hate it.
Brody Lee used to hate it. He used to curse me out the whole time, which I thought was hilarious. So we would just always, we always got into it beforehand and afterwards. It was great. He just hated it so much.
Oh, my goodness, look at this! Cesaro swing! Are you kidding me?
Chris Jericho mentioned in an interview with Inside the Ropes that he wanted to take the swing at the top of the cage at AEW Blood and Guts 2022. However, shortly after it was applied, Jericho got scared and urged Claudio to stop.
I was scared about falling off the cage. Then I started to lose my mind because all I could see was this little people sitting in the crowd. And I was like, stop, 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 stop.
No, don't do this, Claudio. No, oh my God. Oh my God. Can you believe what we're seeing?
Jericho has spoken about various moves he disliked taking, including Tyson Tomko's Argentine neckbreaker.
Christian's bodyguard was Tyson Tomko. His finish was very hard to take.
Tomko going downstairs. Jericho had Tomko pinned there. Go down the bottom. Look out here. Yeah, man.
Jericho expresses frustration working against Titus O'Neil, specifically O'Neil's tendency to throw wrestlers around with little care or how they land.
And Titus O'Neil too. When guys just throw you with no direction and no care on how you're going to land, it makes it harder.
Time to be a champion inside the ring. Driving a knee to the spine of Jericho and then slinging away.
Chris regretted falling off Big Show's shoulders to the floor below at TLC 2009. Jericho has said on Twitter that this spot nearly cost him his life.
No, that's what you need.
Y2J considers the apron powerbomb from Kevin Owens among the worst bumps he's ever taken.
No way, no. No matter what Jericho's done, he hasn't deserved that. A power bomb into the apron.
Speaking of Kevin Owens, he's narrowed his worst bumps down to 3, including one where he bounced off the apron in Ring of Honor. There was also a chokeslam onto the steel ramp by Braun Strowman.
That kick by Kevin Owens didn't even phase Strowman. And now the monster in the back with a chokeslam. Oh my God.
And lastly, we have when Owens missed a cannonball and landed hard on the floor.
Looking to strike. He knows he can. Oh God, nobody home.
Johnny Gargano did something similar to Kevin by somersaulting to the floor off a suplex at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Gargano had previously performed the cannonball bump to the outside at TakeOver Philadelphia.
A couple of steps ahead of Andrade Cien Almas.
Johnny's got Andrade lined up.
Off the apron. Oh, no!
Nobody home.
That bump sucked so much. And stuff came out of me, and you can guess what came out of me.
Is that just your body's reaction to
there's stuff shooting out? Yeah, I think.
The Miz doesn't seem to like taking dives while on the floor. Miz has struggled to catch his opponents in the past, sometimes barely making an effort to stop them. And as we've seen from our last 2 entries, it's a long and hard way down to the mats below.
And look at Jimmy's gonna fly! And Morrison, the corkscrew, spinning corkscrew over.
Make it.
4 men out.
Not
like the Royal Rumble. These guys are not eliminated. Shot doubles are 4. Not this time. Man, caught it right. Almost missed a couple of those feet right in the head.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Evan Bourne said in an interview with YouShoot that when facing The Miz, the high flyer knew he wouldn't get caught, so avoided any high-risk dives.
But smart move on Miz's part to roll out of the ring.
Hardcore Holly's Alabama Slam is one of the most brutal whiplash-inducing maneuvers that knocks the wind out of the receiver.
Oh no, this is not going to be good. Could be another. Yes!
Numerous wrestlers have expressed how it's the most painful move to receive.
Oh no! My God! No! The Alabama Slam to the steel ramp. Alabama Slam through the ladder.
Including Maven Huffman, who broke down the move on his YouTube channel.
I never looked forward to taking it. I always felt it afterwards, so it goes in the hurts a lot category. One of those moves that you definitely felt few hours after you left the ring with Bob.
He's a tough dude. There's no doubt he won tough enough for a reason, but he's a champ.
On his one-of-a-kind podcast, Rob Van Dam went into detail on how much the Alabama Slam hurts.
It's so stiff, you're falling backwards onto your head, so there's not much you can do to break the momentum. Best bet you can have is to have try to have the impact distributed throughout whatever of your shoulders you can get to hopefully hit the mat at the same time. But either way, you're just going to get rocked. And like every time someone would do that to me, it'd ring my bell, it knocked the wind out of me.
No. Joe, look at this. Oh my God. Alabama Slam!
Powerbomb is another wind knocker of a move with a rough landing.
Now testing, hooking Jericho up.
The Undertaker listed it as his least favorite maneuver to take, specifically Psycho Sid's variations.
Powerbomb! Dead man lay it!
Some talent weren't too fond of Taker's version of the powerbomb either.
Oh, man under me! He's going to sign the cross! If you don't believe in God, Legio, you better stop!
Check out the elevation and listen to the impact!
Goodbye, Tonga! Last ride to Tonga!
On his podcast, Kurt talked about how it's tough to be on the receiving end of the Phenom's last ride.
I will say that the last ride is the worst bump that I've ever taken in my life.
Listen to the impact of this! You're not gonna like this, Rumble! It's time to the cover! And that's it, the Undertaker, he hospitalized the Big Show, now he wants to hospitalize the last ride to Kurt Angle!
Let's take a break from the list now to highlight wrestlers who took moves incorrectly and felt the full brunt of the impact because of this. Kurt Angle injured his tailbone, getting suplexed by Shane McMahon on the ramp at the 2001 King of the Ring.
I couldn't even feel anything. My hands were sticking straight out and they were shaking. It hurt that bad. And I thought that I broke my tailbone.
It was cracked. I mean, it wasn't broken off, but I cracked it pretty good.
Marty Garner luckily escaped injury after he infamously thought the pedigree was a double underhook powerbomb-like maneuver when given the move by Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
He said, "Can you take the pedigree?" I said, "Absolutely." I had no idea what the pedigree was.
It felt like it was going to be a power bomb. I'm just going to kick hard.
Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen.
Chuck Austin was another local competitor unfamiliar with the move he was taking, which was the rocker dropper from Marty Jannetty. The botched landing sadly left Chuck unable to walk unassisted.
Chuck says he expressed reservations about having to fall to the mat without using his hands to break his fall.
I questioned him several times, and he told me he was a professional and he would protect me.
He stood all the way up and dove down.
Usually wrestlers go through a table sideways and down the middle, but Jeff Hardy learned the hard way that going through vertically is not a good idea, as heard during an interview with Chris Van Vliet.
And I remember like Vince was like, why do you want to do it like that? I've never seen anybody do it like this before. I just like to do it. I thought my back was all jacked up really bad after that. It just knocked the wind out of me, and I was like, I was all right, but that's probably the most pain I've ever been in from a wrestling, any kind of wrestling move.
On his Oh You Didn't Know podcast, Road Dogg said he ate the mat face first following an F5 from Brock Lesnar on Raw in March 2013.
When I landed, I tried to just take a flat face bump, but I guess my arm and his arm were, I didn't turn my head when I landed, so I landed right on my nose and my nether region. But like my nose and my privates hurt so bad, and so then it was like a running rib where Vince would make fun of me after that, like, maybe you Brock at F5 you again.
Road Dogg is helpless, defenseless. And an F5 to Road Dogg. Lesnar laying face!
John Cena's STF is infamous for its loose grip, a technique Cena switched to after being told to lighten up by other wrestlers. That's because John's original application of the hold saw him crank back to the point where he choked the hell out of 2 opponents. At Unforgiven 2006, Cena locked Edge in the submission whilst between a ladder. The extra space combined with the tight grip added a lot more force, which legit put the Rated R superstar to sleep.
She actually choked me out, and you can watch me pass out.
He's gonna have to tap out, but it's not gonna mean anything! They're just tapping out! But it doesn't matter!
On Rene Dupree's Cafe de Rene podcast, Chris Masters discussed John nearly choking him out when Cena used the STF for the first time in November 2005.
Cena would get very into the moment, I think. It wasn't that he was trying to stiff people, I just think he'd be so into it. And so I think he even did it like that to Kurt Angle a couple times, and Kurt, somehow he got smartened up that, just pantomime it a little bit more. You don't have to really wrench it to display the intensity. See me sticking my fingers right? That's literally to create some, because I'm choking. I am dying right here. Like, I can't even handle another 2 seconds of this.
John Cena just locked in an STF with Masters. Can't believe it! I think the Masters.
You'd be hard-pressed to find any wrestler that doesn't detest taking chair shots, especially to the head given how much damage and pain they cause.
I think Kane has snapped. Kane has... Oh, God!
Zo, die is helemaal klaar voor de sport. Met Calvé 100% pindakaas.
He caught me, dude. I had a lump the size of a goose egg on top of my head. That was a concussion.
Kurt Angle seriously hurt his neck after taking a chair shot from Brock Lesnar on SmackDown in 2003.
Brock brought it and went straight over my head instead of swinging sideways. And I should have told him, and Chris told him before the match started, swing sideways so you don't go on top of my head where it crunches down on your neck. And I didn't tell him to do that. So he swung sideways on Benoit, hit him, which was a safe hit.
No, take it out, Benoit!
And he came over top, and everything he had, he brought it, and right on top of my head. I knew right then, I heard my neck crack. I was like, and my right arm completely went numb. I couldn't even use it. I couldn't raise it.
And Lesnar with a steel chair in hand. Take it out, Angle.
Vince McMahon's chair shot to Stone Cold Steve Austin at No Mercy 2001 left the rattlesnake with a scar on the back of his head.
Austin gave a damn about the alliance or anyone. Mr. McMahon with a chair. And there's no disqualification.
The scar I got on the back of my head was delivered from Vince McMahon himself with a steel chair. I can't complain about it because he's wearing several stitches for me also. So.
Though chair collisions to the skull were later outlawed in WWE, chair shots to the back were still allowed. While speaking to Maven, Jinder Mahal mentioned how much he dreaded taking a chair to the back during his feud with Randy Orton in 2017.
I would wake up and be like, I got to take a chair shot today. But when you're laying lower to the ground, there's more room for that chair. Yeah. So that's another cheat code. If you can kind of be higher, it's less. Yeah.
Oh, shot to the gut there. And now a steel chair across the back of Mahal.
Val Venus was seeing stars after Triple H let rip on him with a mean chair shot in late 2005.
Those first few seconds, when you open your eyes and you come to and you don't know who you are, you don't know what you're doing, I'm not going to lie, man, that's a scary, scary thing. Like, I would say that was probably the hardest I was ever hit over the head with a chair. It was by Triple H. At nighttime, when I'm laying my head down and it's super quiet, I could still hear that ringing in my ear. And that lasted for almost a year after that chair shot.
Listen to the impact.
Bradshaw was known for swinging a chair, and he once leathered Pete Gas with one of the most devastating chair shots ever. Pete discussed other wrestlers' reaction to the spot on the Stories with Briscoe and Bradshaw podcast.
And, I don't think, Pete. That is a neurologist nightmare right there.
Mick came over to me and said, he was telling me the story about when he faced The Rock and he got hit all those times. And he said, don't take too many of those. And Jericho came up and he said, well, you're probably going to face them again tonight. He said, don't feed your head, feed your back.
Jeff Hardy has 2 different variations of the Swanton Bomb. The first, Jeff hit more in his younger days, where he didn't make much impact so as to protect his opponents.
Jeff Hardy flying high, Swanton Bomb, caught him.
Then there's the one where Jeff lands hard, making full contact, to the point where Hardy has jokingly referred to this version as the Crouton Bomb.
It was the Crouton Bomb. For the longest time, I was like killing people. I just could not control it anymore.
Swanton Bomb! Here we go! Swanton Bomb!
What's your least favorite move to be on the receiving end of?
It used to be Jeff Hardy's Swanton. Knock on wood, I haven't been eating anything lately that makes me want to Jeff Hardy's swanton.
Devon Dudley hated receiving the swanton, which he spoke about on his YouTube channel.
You would know Jeff is putting all his body weight on you. It does hurt. I'm going to have to put this in the S tier for tag team finishes because, again, Matt does a great job in protecting you, but, man, Jeff just wants to hurt me.
Jeff Hardy, don't do it, Jeff! Don't do it! I said Tom Bomb!
Knife edge chops were one of Ric Flair's main weapons in the ring, and given the nature of these strikes, they weren't everyone's cup of tea to say the least, especially Bret the Hitman Hart and The Undertaker.
How many of the guys you work with just could not stand to be chopped?
Bret Hart and Taker were the two worst. But Taker would tell me, you got 3.
World Championship Wrestling's all about. That one was like a wake-up call to Bret Hart. And at the second one, Flair showing great heart. Oh, the heart of a warrior. Flair right down the Undertaker's body. Oh, no! Hard shots by Flair.
After severely injuring his back in a plane crash in 1975, Flair became more apprehensive about taking big bumps on his back. It's why we'd often see him take bumps more on his side.
Did Flair start turning more to the side because of his broken back and the fact that he was trying to, when he got back in the business, put stress in other places? Probably.
They're going to try to come off the top. Oh! And that worked in 30 years at WrestleMania. Oh, my! He was a winner there.
This is also why Rick started doing the Flair flop face bump. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out a similar video on the top 100 WWE moves that were sold perfect.
Somebody I guess to know his favorite wrestler was Ric Flair. I've never seen nobody walk in it. Nah, I ain't never seen nobody do that. If somebody actually does that, that's gonna be crazy. I'll probably have to put a hand up before you fall. But then again, it doesn't feel original. Anyways, we might do another video or